Hey everyone, Scorpion here. The leaks for SP Suna are out, and this kit features some wild numbers, a 360% block multiplier, and an unblockable late game ultimate spike. It sounds great until you actually do the math. Today, we are breaking down his slow starter passive, and I'll show you exactly why these numbers might feel like a trap, and why I think he will struggle on the meta. Without any hesitation, let's get to the video. So let's take a look at Suna's kit. So for skill number 1, when Suna loses a debuff, his quick attack stat increases by 100 points, up to a maximum of 4000. At the start of the match, Suna gains 10 stacks of the slacking off debuff, and each stack reducing his quick attack stat by 5% up to a maximum of 10 stacks. So from a skill number 1, we can already understand that at the start of the game, you will be having minus 50% of your quick attack stat, because he will gain those 10 stacks at the start of the game of the slacking off debuff, and he will make you weaker early on with his quick attack. His skill number 2 is a block skill, and it has 6 net crossings cooldown, and Suna performs a block with 160% block stat power, and each stack of the slacking off debuff increases the power of this block by 20% of his block stat. So according to skill number 1 and according to skill number 2, you guys will be having a weaker early game when it comes to spike power with Suna, but you will have a 360% multiplier on his block skill, which obviously feels great, but the longer the game goes, you guys will be losing or disliking off stacks, and it will become weaker and weaker whenever the game goes further and further. So overall, I think this is not the greatest, because there are characters like Liev that can simply just have the 340 or 360% multiplier without having to have debuffs, but I guess this is the character gimmick. So let's get to skill number 3. So for his skill number 3, Suna's quick attack stat increases by 12% and his block stat by 3000 points. When Suna has a debuff, his blocks will be critical, and at the start of the round, Suna removes one stack of the slacking off debuff. After the slacking off debuff first falls below 5 stacks, the maximum cooldown duration for his ultimate spike is reduced by 2 net crossings. So once again, we see your block power will be actually pretty nice at the start of the game because of the high multiplier, and because you will actually um, have 10 slacking off debuff stacks at the start of the match. But the longer the game goes on, his block becomes weaker, but his quick attacks become better. And his ultimate will also have his cooldown reduced by 2 net crossings whenever you guys are below the 5 stacks of slacking off. This means at the 5th rally, or at the 5th point, you should already have this maximum cooldown reduced for your ultimate. But this takes a while for Suna in order to take off his debuff stacks, so I don't think it's actually that good. But let's take a look at skill number 4. So it's an ultimate spike, and it has 8 net crossings. Suna performs a quick attack with 260% of quick attack stat power, and after the slacking off debuff first fall off below 3 stacks, unexpected spikes ignore blocks, and power of this spike increases by 60% of his quick attack stat. So let's think a little bit about this. So if you guys are under 5 slack off debuff stacks, you are already able to have 6 net crossings cooldown. And if you are below 3, you get an unblockable spike and a 320% quick spike multiplier from his ultimate, which is decent. But once again, at the start of the game, you have strong blocks, and at the end of the game, you have a higher quick attack stat or spikes. Also, since he's permanently losing debuffs, even if it's his debuffs or, for example, Kita debuffs, he will also be able to stack up to 4000 basic stats on quick attack. So this only further makes his kit way better later on the game if you want him to spike. So let's take a look at his skill resonances. After the slacking off debuff first falls below 7 stacks, Suna Unexpected Spike is guaranteed to be critical. Whenever he loses one debuff stack, the power of the spike increases by 50% of his quick attack stat up to 1000%, lasting until the next spike. So once again, we see skill resonance 2 messing with the stacks, and this is actually pretty nice because you want to be playing him with an Arizaki, and if you're playing him with Kita, and if you guys remember him pretty well, he will actually decrease your awareness and reflex, meaning you can't crit on attack or offense. But since Suna can completely avoid this because if he has a debuff, he will crit on blocking, he doesn't need reflex. And since with his skill resonance below the 7 stacks, he will actually be able to crit without any awareness. So in general, I think his skill resonance 2 is pretty good if you want to pair him with twins and, for example, with Kita. And you will also be able to ramp up your quick attack even more the longer the game goes. So it's a pretty nice skill resonance too, and I think he only becomes decent whenever he has skill resonance too. For skill resonance 4, at the start of each round, if Rintaro Suna has fewer than 3 stacks of slacking off, he gains 3 stacks of slacking off. Each stack reducing his quick attack stat by 5% up to a maximum of 10 stacks. When Suna touches the ball while having a debuff, his strength increases by 150%, lasting for 2 net crossings. So, I'm gonna be totally honest with you, I think his skill resonance 2 is atrocious. I don't think it's good at all, I think it's just bait, because you see a high number on strength, you see, oh, 150% and you might think it's good, but in reality, you don't really need him to be permanently having his slacking up debuffs. Because just bear with me, if you're playing peak ranking, you are only able to achieve 9 points in total. Either the maximum score can only be 5-4. So since he already has 10, and since he only loses the debuffs whenever the rally actually starts, you don't really need for him to be able to stack up his slacking off buffs again. It doesn't really matter that much. And you can simply just use Kita and have him providing the silence debuff that you are able to permanently have debuffs which will allow you to crit when you are performing a spike and which will always guarantee you to crit when blocking. So this is just bait. This, for me, I don't think it's worth at all. And you are only able to use strength whenever you're spiking with him because he won't be really setting at all. So I think his skill resonance 4 is just bait overall, and I don't think it's good. But if you guys want to go for his skill resonance too, I actually think it's pretty nice for him. So for his bonds, we have a bond with SP Shinsuke Kita, and Kita receive increases by 2000 points, and Suna's quick attack will increase by 1000 points. The player who uses their ultimate for the first time each round gains 1 stack of the Tranquil debuff, each stack reducing awareness and reflex up to 5 stacks. So this further proves my point of skill resonance for being totally useless, because here is another way for you to guarantee that Suna will have debuffs. If he simply pairs with Kita, you will always have debuffs. You will have his silence debuff, you will have the tranquil debuff, you will have the slacking off debuff, so he will never run out of debuffs the entire game. It's gonna be so rare. I think it's honestly impossible in a peak match for you to be losing out on his slacking off debuffs. So for team recommendations, I actually only think that Suna will be available to be playing in this specific team. You can obviously run Ozamu if you want instead of Kageyama, but I just think that Kageyama is a better character overall. But Kageyama is actually able to guarantee crits for both the setters and the spikers, which is obviously great since Suna doesn't need awareness or reflex. Neither any on this team will need awareness and reflex because Hirugami can crit whenever the opponent spiker crits. Suna can guarantee critical blocks and critical spikes whenever he has debuffs. Kita doesn't want reflex for nothing or awareness even less because he won't really be performing any type of offensive plays in your team. And overall, I think this is just the best team for Suna because, as I mentioned before, you have him paired with Kita, and that's where he works best. It's simply as that. And Kita works with attack technique and defense technique, which the twins obviously love, and it will only make this team stronger. We will also take a quick look at his memory, and his memory basically at the start of a round, if the equiper has a debuff, their block stat will increase by 14%. When the holder loses a debuff, their quick attack stat increases by 2% up to a maximum of 10 stacks, which means a total of 20% quick attack. So overall, the gimmick of the character is you start with a high block and then you get even higher quick attack because you will be losing stacks the longer the game goes, and you will get a weaker block stat, but you will get a higher quick attack stat. But in general, I just think that Suna is lackluster, if I would say so. I really think he's a little disappointing. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's realistically only able to play in this team that I mentioned, and I only think he's great at SR2. I think SR4 is completely trash. But yeah, guys, feel free to leave in the comment what you think about Suna. If you guys enjoy his kit, if you think he's gonna be good in the meta, and if you're actually excited for him on our global version. I know it will take a long time, but I'm still doing this video in order to keep you guys with the characters on JP. I hope you guys liked the video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye. Peace, guys.